Hello friends. Today I would like to share some foolproof tips for preparing for interviews. First of all, let us look at some important facts about the interviews. First and the foremost is that you are one amongst many aspirants. So it's not just you, it is always that there will be other aspirants who will be equally qualified. And hence, the interview process is always a relative process wherein the best on the day gets selected. It may not necessarily mean that you may not be good enough. You may be good enough for the job, but it is relative as far as that particular day is concerned. And one most important fact about the interviews is that you are as competent as perceived by the interviewers. Now, what it means is, like during the interview process, you are typically given 15 to 60 minutes in the entire process, depending on how many rounds you have. Now, during those 15 to 60 minutes, what is the impression that you create on the interviewers, and hence the perception that they create about you is what matters the most. Okay, the first step for preparing for interviews, you take a notepad and write down your recent assignments, the key milestones for each of the assignments, and also your contribution in each of those milestones. Now, do bear in mind that if you have more than 5 years of experience, then concentrate on the recent 5 or the last 5 years, because they carry more weightage in the interview process than the years before that. Now, while you are doing this, make sure you collate the list of your assignments and your milestones and your contribution in the reverse chronological order, as in the recent project comes first and the oldest project comes last. The next step while preparing for your interviews, write down your achievements, all the certifications that you've taken or got in the last 5 years, and also write down your contributions beyond your KRAs for not just your project but for the wider organization as well as other teams as well. Once again, do that in the reverse chronological order. Okay, in the step 3, while you're preparing for your interview, prepare a list of all the self-learning initiatives that you've taken during at least the past 5 years with respect to how to deliver your KRAs better. Then also prepare a list of self-learning initiatives where you have learned new things to be able to take wider responsibilities or additional responsibilities, or also preparing yourself for taking higher responsibilities. Once you prepared this list, also collate where all did you apply these learnings in the recent past, and that will really come handy in the interviews. Now, as the next step, prepare a list of your strengths. Make a comprehensive list, and if you have to talk to your friends and family to find out what they think your strengths are, do that and prepare a list of your strengths. Next, prepare a list of all your achievements, preferably in the last 5 years. If you want to go beyond that, it's entirely up to you. And once you've compiled the list of your strengths and your achievements, then analyze how did your strengths contribute in you achieving whatever you achieved when you achieved. Now, this will give you a whole lot of confidence in the sense that, okay, I have the strengths, and when applied, I'm able to achieve. Once you've done that, then analyze the job description and kind of map your strengths with the job description in such a way that you will be able to visualize and see, okay, which all strengths will help me excel in this job, and take a note of that. So now, in the last step in the process of preparing for interviews, prepare responses to the questions like, tell me about your strengths, why should you get this job, what are your strengths and weaknesses, or could you please briefly introduce yourself. Normally these questions are asked during the beginning of the interview, and while these questions appear to be very innocuous and simple icebreakers, but these are very important questions which give a peep into your mind, and hence it's very important to kind of envisage what are these questions that can be asked and prepare responses. And if you have to write it down, please write it down and rehearse the responses. Now, one of the most important questions which is almost always asked towards the end of the interview, which is, do you have any questions for us? Now, make sure you go prepared with a response, because this question can also make or break your performance in the interview. Notes that you prepared while preparing for the interview process, make sure you keep them handy, because these are the notes which will help you come out of the anxiety before the interview. Because as and when you refer to your notes and take a glance of what were your strengths, what are your achievements, what are the relevant strengths given the job, So these notes will do wonders for you, because you can even carry them to the venue of the interview. While you're waiting, you can glance through those notes and everything will be refreshed in your mind. And that will help you in the interview process like anything. So that's all. Thank you so much and all the best for your interviews.